Hello, everyone, and welcome to the pilot episode of my gaming blog series. For those who watched my 2016 channel update / upcoming content video that I released a couple months ago, this was a new series that I said that I was going to start. Now, before we actually get into it, let me explain to you exactly what my thoughts, feelings, and purpose of this video series is going to be. One of the things that I have always been really big into is gaming news, industry insider news, and everything surrounding the gaming industry. But that's something that I have not really brought to this channel very much. So this is going to be the series that I actually do that. And it's going to be very laid back, very just hangout style of news, if you want to call it that. There might be times where I actually do it with my green screen. In this episode, we're going to do it without the green screen, just whatever I happen to have set up at the time. And then at the end of this sort of pilot episode, I'd love to get your feedback on whether you like this, you don't like this, would you like to see something else, and maybe I'll change it. But for this episode, again, the pilot episode, we're going to be talking about two things, and they both happened yesterday. Yesterday was like a really big news day in the gaming industry. The first thing we're going to talk about just Everquest Next. If you didn't hear, Everquest Next got canceled, and a lot of people thought that was going to be the really next big MMO, the one that was really going to change just sort of the landscape of the MMO industry. And there's a lot of people, including people like myself, who is getting really burned out on sort of the current MMOs that are out there, just the gameplay, the style, whether you call it the theme park style or whatever you want to call it, just getting really burned out on what is out there. And I think overall the MMO genre in general is kind of dying off. I mean, I don't think they're ever going to stop making MMOs, but just in general, it's just sort of dying off. And World of Warcraft, which is the elephant in the room, you can just sort of look at that and see that what I'm saying is right. I mean, at its peak, WoW was at 10 million, 12 million subs or whatever it was, and at last count, they were down to, 5.4? And it's like all these other MMOs, including SOTOR and stuff, they're just, it almost seems like they're just barely hanging on. And it's getting kind of messy for that side of the gaming industry. But yeah, EverQuest Next, I mean, you had Landmark that was part of that, and there was a lot of that was really playable. They showed a lot of videos. There was going to be something like 30 or 40 classes and destructible environment and just all this other really cool stuff that was going to be in that game, and now it's gone. And for those of you who were around or was playing MMOs back in the 1999, 2000, when that when the original EverQuest came out, and it just really changed the landscape of gaming and MMOs at that time. So EverQuest was just huge, and EverQuest 2 wasn't quite as big, but that original EverQuest just really changed the landscape of gaming at the time, and it was really cool. So it's a darn shame that game is been canceled, and that all of the really neat ideas that they were going to do in that are pretty much gone at this point. So, yep, darn shame it is. And then the second topic that I wanted to briefly talk about, if you didn't hear, Wildstar's been going through some troubles for some time. They went from subscription model based to free to play, and they've just been kind of going downhill ever since. Well, it was announced yesterday that an additional somewhere between 60 and 70 employees at Carbine Studios were let go, and that the launch of the game in China has also been canceled. And I think that's going to spell potential doom for Wildstar. I hope not. I hope I'm totally wrong on that, because at its core, I think Wildstar is a really neat game. It's got a lot of really neat ideas in it. I love the whole world and environment and the combat system and the housing system. Oh my god, that's one of the best housing systems that's ever been done. And the game has just a lot of charm and personality. And again, sort of going along with my first subject on how the MMO genre is kind of dying off, it seems like these new MMOs that have come out in the last, let's say, year, 2 years, are having a heck of a time getting any traction. And it appears that Wildstar may have been sort of suffering from the same thing, and it's not looking good. I'm quite worried for what's gonna happen at Carbine Studios and Wildstar. I really hope they don't cancel it. What my wish for Wildstar would be is there's a lot of MMOs out there that have sort of just their core group of subscribers. You look at games like Eve, or even, again, the original EverQuest. The original EverQuest is still going after all these years. But there's a lot of games out there, or a lot of MMOs out there, that just, they have, let's say, 100,000, 500,000, whatever it is, subscribers, and they are able to continue to keep that game alive with that subscriber base. And so I hope Wildstar is able to find their number and keep it going. I hope they don't shut it down. It would be pretty terrible if they did. It would suck. So, but that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll go ahead and do it for this episode. Like I said, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you think about this. This is intended to be a fairly short series, so maybe somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes, and I'm going to try really hard to do at least one a week, but a lot of it has to do with what kind of gaming news is perhaps out there at any given time, or just stuff that I want to talk about. But yeah, like I said, go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this sort of a loose style of news and just talking about random stuff, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. But as I end all my videos, with that being said, everybody keep playing, have fun, and we will see you next time.